Yield 1.5 minutes to my good friend from Texas, a member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Mr. Crenshaw.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
Thank you. I rise today in strong support of the Halt Fentanyl Act because it's the most obvious thing in the world to be in support of. Hundreds of thousands of Americans have lost their lives to fentanyl. Fentanyl is supposed to be used in the operating room. It's supposed to be used on the battlefield. It is not meant to be laced into street drugs and sold online to kids. And because of that, it's killed hundreds of thousands of Americans, 75,000 deaths a year. It's the nation's biggest mass poisoning in our history. And there's a supply side element to that. It's the Mexican drug cartels. And it's also worth mentioning the counter-arguments to this. Everyone says, well, if we schedule this as a Schedule I drug, then we're going to go right back to the old days, the 1980s and 90s of mass incarceration. There's a real big problem with that argument. And it's this. This has been temporarily Scheduled I since 2018. So I would love my colleagues who are making that claim to show me the data on how this has hurt minority communities over the last 7 years. You can't because it doesn't exist. It has been Schedule I for 7 years. We cannot let that expire because then we take away the tools that our prosecutors and our law enforcement need to stop this deadly threat. Hate to break it to everybody, but incentives matter, behaviors matter. You do need higher penalties for dealing fentanyl, a heck of a lot higher than the mandatory minimums we're even talking about here, if we actually care about saving kids' lives. So we should stop playing politics. Let's do what's right. I urge my colleagues to support this bill, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.